For me, it's time with my friends.
For me, it's a walk in the park.
For me, it's my job.
For me, it's fun.
Hello everyone and welcome to the final day here at the 2017 Green Mountain Championships presented by Discraft. I'm joined by our tournament director Jeff Spring, and Jeff, I'm not sure we could have drew up a more beautiful day here in September at Smugglers Notch.
Well, it's not just today, Terry. This tournament's been excellent with weather. We've been really lucky to have the weather that we've had, and the competition's been right there to match it. It's been exciting. It's been close battle throughout, and I can't wait to see what happens today.
We do have a great leader card here for you. Leiviska coming in at 31 under par. He's currently sitting in 4th place. And in a tie for 2nd, we have Michael Johansen along with Ricky Wysocki. Ricky, who has never been defeated here in Vermont, actually, the entire state from what I've heard. And then our leader, Nate Doss, sitting at 35 under par. Dare I ask, you got any predictions for us?
Well, one thing is for certain, it is coming down to this lead card. There's a gap between this and the chase card, so all the action is right here. It's going to be exciting. I know we have a lot of fans out here wanting to see if Ricky can be knocked off. Nate's been the leader the entire rounds, so we're going to watch and wait and take it in on this beautiful fall day.
All right, it sounds like you're too scared to pick a winner. We're here for a great battle. Let's get to the action. Nate Doss on the tee.
Let me welcome everyone to the final round. 2017 Green Mountain Championship here at Smugglers, sponsored by Discraft. This is the lead card, 230T. Leading us off from Bend, Oregon. Let's hear it for Nate Doss. Yeah.
And hole 1 coming in at a beastly 600 feet. It's got OB on both left and right, but players are looking to get off to a good start in card of 3 here.
Yeah, Nate's right down the pipe to start. He's in position A. He's looking at a nice approach for a birdie.
And fellow Discraft teammate of Nate's is Michael Johansen. And Michael Joe with great concentration. I believe someone was trying to help with the parking, and Michael Joe was able to battle right through it.
South Carolina, 4-time Green Mountain champion, Ricky Wysocki.
And that is challenging the left side. It's got to sit down. It skips and goes OB, Terry. That's a rough start.
Rounding out our foursome from St. Paul, Minnesota, Leiviska.
Kale representing Prodigy here today. Kale keeping it low. He's going to hope that doesn't skip, as we saw with Wysocki's. It goes straight. We'll check in with the women who played at Brewster Ridge earlier today.
Welcome to round 4, everybody. Hole 1 at Brewster Ridge. Sarah Hokom has a 4-stroke lead over Catrina Allen. Jessica Weese and Valarie Jenkins are 5 back. Paige Pierce is 6 back. You can see the basket just through those trees. This is a 315-foot par 3. You just want to pure that gap, get near that tree, and hit your 30-foot putt. Sarah Hokom and Catrina Allen have set themselves up very nicely for that 30-foot putt, as does Jessica Weese. She's a little bit right. Valarie Jenkins, who starts the day 5 strokes back. Everybody's chasing Sarah right now. That's the name of our show. As Jessica watches Valarie and Catrina miss their birdie putts, here is her birdie putt. So Sarah Hokom has an opportunity to gain a stroke on the field right now. Just short. Catrina Allen for par. Catrina is actually losing a stroke. Paige Pierce birdies. We're moving on to hole 2.
Leiviska is throwing his seconds, going right at the basket. It drops right in front of it. That almost drew some metal, Terry.
Nate carries around a handful of challengers for both putting and approaching and tries the turnover, but hits one of the late trees. And instead of kicking toward the basket, it looks like it kicked him away.
Yeah, that's the one tree you got to beat. He had it dropping below the limbs, but he caught it pretty square. He's going to be just where he was last time on Fox Run, where he canned a big putt to get that hot round going. So let's see if he can do it again as we watch Michael Joe get prepped for his approach.
And very quick to throw is Michael Joe. That is not nerves, that is his standard routine. So some of you, if you're not used to watching Michael compete, he is a very quick thrower, as is Ricky Wysocki, but Michael even a little bit quicker.
And Rick has played the sidearm well. He skips up. It looks like he's going to be able to save his par.
And Doss from 45 feet looks to be just a bit left. Maybe not quite enough snap on that release.
Yeah, you know, he couldn't repeat the putt he made here 2 days ago, and it looks like it's going to cost him a stroke on Michael Joe, who's pretty automatic from inside the circle. But it's not a gimme, Terry. Let's see if he can draw some chain.
And as you said, all but automatic. Michael Joe rarely misses a putt anytime he's throwing up one of his ringers. And Leiviska is getting his putting stroke in focus here, although he's got pretty much a tap in. Doss will tap in from just a few feet. He's going to take the par. He's not going to lose a stroke there to Ricky. Ricky taps in after the OB, and Cale's in for a birdie. We'll be back in a minute after a word from our sponsors.
achieving greatness requires hundreds of days of preparation, which is why the people at Vibram have worked for over 3 years to make their first ever distance driver the longest and straightest in the game. Introducing the new Vibram Lace, helping you achieve your greatness.
Sun King Discs, established in 2001. Florida's most respected name in disc sports. Official retail merchandiser of the Disc Golf Pro Tour. Currently on tour supporting Discraft and DGA live inventory, free shipping at $12. All orders $19.99, ships in a box, includes single discs, large selection of both stock and collectibles. Check out the website at www.sunkingdiscs.com.
A tight wooded shot here, well, tight tunnel at least, not exactly wooded, but 270 feet here on hole number 2.
Yeah, Terry, it's a do or die hole, and Cale has done it. He's hit the gap. He's going to have about a circle's edge putt. It looked like it came up a little short, whereas Michael hit the tree early on the left. Let's see how Nate can negotiate this gap.
And Nate's turns over through the gap. That's going to be short. He'll have a long look at a putt from there. Wysocki lining up a backhand. And we're going to stay with the group here for just a moment as we move down the fairway. We'll catch up with Ricky Wysocki, who will be throwing his approach shot. Jeff, like you said, this is kind of a do or die. You either hit the gap or you don't. And if you don't hit the gap, you're going to be fighting for your par.
Yeah, and we saw 2 make it and 2 miss, and Ricky's off to a sluggish start here with an OB par save, and now he's going to have to try to scramble for a par save as well. And, you know, even though we talked about the 2 big names, Wysocki and Doss, already we see Johannsen sitting in second, 2 back, and maybe he and Cale are looking to make themselves a storyline as we see Ricky try to approach.
We're going to check in with the women from hole 2 over at Brewster Ridge.
We advance to hole 2, the 550-foot par 4. Sarah Hokom still leads by 5. Here's Sarah on the tee. This hole has OB lining the entire right side. Whatever you do, you just want to keep it straight. You don't want to go left because that cuts off your approach to the basket. So you need to be in the fairway. Sarah Hokom with a very nice drive. Jessica Weese pures this thing. A little bit of a ouch! That was a rough kick. That was a mule that wanted to go somewhere else. Valarie Jenkins puts it up. Jessica Weese is throwing well, not converting so far, but that's a good sign for her. Valarie Jenkins goes off left. She will also have a very tough look, trying to get out of the woods and then go up and down to save the par. Catrina Allen with a gorgeous drive gets far, far, far down the fairway, and she's going to have a nice look too.
And Doss on that left side, relatively short putt here. Kind of surprising to see Doss miss from such a close range here on hole 2.
Yeah, it might be the little early nerves of the final round, but Cale's looking to take advantage and pull 1 stroke closer here with the only birdie. And he's done it. And there we have it. Cale's right back in the running with Ricky making a bogey, and it looks like the other 2 competitors with pars, Terry. We're moving on to 3, and already we're seeing some fireworks.
This is a very unexpected turn of events just in the first 2 holes. Nate Dawes has just a few feet of cleanup. And Michael Joe will tap in for his par. So crazy to see just 1 birdie here on hole 2. We'll be back in a moment from the tee of 3.
Flashlight LED disc golf discs just changed the game. The unique Disco Select feature allows everyone to choose their own color by simply pressing the middle button, then pressing it again during the first rotation of colors when the one you want appears. Or you can leave it in disco mode, rotating through the 6 different colors for the duration of your game. Designed by serious professionals, crafted from Night Eye's unrivaled sure grip material, and featuring Night Eye's patented fiber optics array, these discs strike the perfect balance of durability, stability, performance, and just plain awesomeness. With easily replaceable batteries and an uber-long life, the Flash Flight driver, mid-range, and putter will shine as they blaze your path to victory, day or night. Night Eyes. Discover your solution.
At 305 feet, Cale goes with the mid-range straight up the middle. Looks like it's going to be just a bit short, but inside the circle, pin high. Michael Joe going with his TI Comet. That is going left, but hits a tree. Nate with his Glow Buzz going right up the middle. That looks to be just left, close to pin high. And Wysocki's is heading left. We'll see if it can stay clean, and it hits on the left side. We'll see how the women did on hole 3.
We move on to hole 3. Sarah Hokom maintaining her 5-stroke lead over Jessica Weese, Valarie Jenkins, and Catrina Allen. This is a 325-foot par 3. You know they're attacking this, trying to get themselves set up for it. Sarah leaves herself about 35 to 40 feet short. Jessica Weese, who's had 2 good drives but not good finishes on the holes, has a good drive here and is about 10 feet away for the birdie. Valarie Jenkins pulls that off right. It comes back left. She will have a long putt for birdie. And Catrina Allen has this second shot. She lays that up. Sarah Hokom lays it up. Jessica Weese to close the gap by 1. Count it. We're moving on to hole 4. And Jessica Weese and Valarie Jenkins are now within 4.
And MJ has an approach shot to the basket. Again, you can't be too aggressive here, Jeff. There's a drop-off behind the pin.
Yeah, if you're not confident in your putt here, most people just lay up, Terry, and that's what we saw from Michael Joe. He had a long pitch up, but, you know, we'll see what kind of confidence Ricky has in his putter today right here.
And what a putt by Ricky Wysocki a moment ago. Jeff had just mentioned and said we'll see what kind of confidence he has, and I think that may answer the question. He's struggled a little bit off the tee. He's got 3 holes in without a great tee shot, but yet his putter makes up for it here on the green of the 3rd hole. And that somehow gets up on edge and trickles into the basket. He's going to walk away with a birdie. MJ tapping in for his 3. And Nate Doss is going to take a birdie here. We're going to listen to a word from our sponsors and find out what's in the bag of our top players here today.
How's it going, everybody? I'm Michael Johansen with Team Discraft, and we're going to go over kind of what I throw for the day out at Fox Run Meadows. My main fairway driver of choice that I use is an Undertaker. I'll use it on 1 and several other holes out there. Any of my long distance stuff is generally a Z crank like this, or 1 or 2 others that are kind of close. Sometimes I throw a nuke, but mostly it's those. And any of my longer up shots, or like hole 3, I use this titanium Comet a lot. It's mostly what I throw in right now on my Comets, so we'll use that a lot. And then most of my up shots are with bangers, probably be this one, but it does change every once in a while. And then when I putt, I use the Soft Ringer X for all my putting to make them grab the chains a little better, hopefully. And that's basically what I throw out there.
Perfect. Ricky Wysocki here. We're about to head into the 4th round out at the Fox Run Meadows course. It seems to be a little bit windier than the first round we played out there, so I'm going to have a little bit more overstable discs, and game plan is going to change a little bit, but overall I'm going to be pretty aggressive and trying to attack these open, semi-windy holes today. And for my long-range overstable driver, I got a Lucid Enforcer. It's kind of a glowish plastic. It's pretty overstable, can handle the wind, and really controllable for the long-range shots out here. And then for my fairway driver, flies pretty similar to Enforcer. It's a Gold Line Stiletto. Doesn't quite fly as far as the Enforcer, but it's also controllable and can handle the wind really well. So that's my fairway driver out here. And then for my sidearm approach shots and sometimes off the tee, controllable drives, Lucid Felon. It can handle the wind. It's pretty much my only sidearm disc I throw for fairway shots. And this is going to be my go-to today, nice and controllable. With all the out of bounds, you got to be controlled, and this is the disc I'm going to lean on a lot. And then of course my putter, Swirly Burst Dagger. This thing has been going in all week, and I'm hoping it does this final round also. So this is going to be the money maker, and hopefully I can make up a lot of strokes with this thing.
The Mach X by DGA, the evolution of disc golf.
Whenever you are.
And Leiviska lays one out there very safe. Terry looks like he's playing for a 3 on this one.
Doss rips his favorite Z-Force out and around here. Hole 4 at 470 feet. Great crush there by Nate Doss. Ricky Wysocki third to tee.
Yeah, Nate really put some mustard on that one, Terry. He's going to have a birdie look, even though it's going to be outside the circle.
And with plenty of power, that seems to be fading right. He's looking for that to hook up.
And the spotter's giving him the red flag, Terry. That is out of bounds. He's going to have a long putt for his 3, very long.
And Michael Joe goes out and around them, looking for that to land in the center of the fairway. No problems from there. We'll be back after watching the women on hole 4.
We advance to a very long hole 4, 575-foot par 4. Show you an abbreviated version so we can get in the important shots. Jessica Weese's drive looks very good, but tails off to the right a little bit early. You need to stay in the fairway here at Brewster Ridge, and Catrina Allen does it. A perfect shot by Catrina Allen. Here's Valarie Jenkins' second shot. She had a good first shot, not quite as far as Catrina Allen. That second shot sets her up for a pretty easy up and down for the par. Sarah Hokom, also a beautiful second shot. She'll have a look at the up and down for par as well. And Jessica Weese, after a tough second shot, follows it up with a tougher third shot. Here is her fourth shot. She finally gets it close. She'll be carding the bogey, giving that stroke very quickly back. And Sarah Hokom cards the par. A great run by Sarah Hokom. And Catrina Allen, after her approach went a little long, misses her comeback putt and actually loses a stroke on hole 4. We're moving on to hole 5.
And Ricky Wysocki currently contemplating with the rest of the group as to who's going to be out. Ricky is OB, so this is for a long save at 3.
And that's come up just short, Terry. It looked like it had a shot, but just petered out there at the end. And there's another bogey for Wysocki, and that's the main story right now, is he's falling out of contention early.
Michael Joe, of course, very quick to throw and hits almost the exact same spot on the basket. What a run. We feel a very light left to right wind out here. I couldn't quite hear it, but I'm sure the crowd was disappointed that he didn't draw a medal after the bar that was set by our first 2 throwers.
Yeah, Leviska actually apologized to the crowd, which sparked some laughter. But here we are, Nate Doss, looking for the lone birdie and to really retake control and gain his original 3-stroke lead back. He didn't start hot, Terry, but this could really set the table for a little margin on the rest of the round.
And Doss going for the lone birdie found on hole 4 today, but this hole will remain birdieless out here, and that's a testament to just how challenging it is, maybe just outside the range for most of our players.
Yeah, you know, we were talking to Simon earlier in the week, and he thought it was just about right, Terry. So
of course he did.
That tells you something. It is a challenge. It's 470 feet, which all these guys can throw, but with the OB on the right side, any disc that's turning risks going out of bounds. So you see people throwing hyzers and not quite reaching here. It's a real separator for those top level pros. And Nate's cleaning up his 3. It looks like we're gonna have 3 threes and a 4. Wysocki's falling 1 more back, and Nate's still comfortable. Maybe not as comfortable as he wants to be, because all he needs is 1 more stroke to maybe get that margin back up.
We're moving on to hole 5 after a brief walk. And welcome back. We have moved over to hole number 5. We're good to go with all taking place on hole 4. Had a chance to extend his lead even further on the previous hole, however not drawing metal like the first 2 throwers. And right now the lead card is in fact standing down there waiting for the chase card, who are throwing in a parallel direction to us on our left as they're playing hole number 6. Hole 6 perched on a small wooden-like structure to add a little bit more elevation to the hole. Way off in a distance, we're seeing them throw their tee shots. And I couldn't quite tell who was throwing there, but they had parked it, whoever it was. Great gallery out here. As I said, light to almost no winds, a few clouds in the sky. And we've got a great day lined up for our final round here at the 2017 Green Mountain Championships. We talk about it quite a bit, Jeff. Ricky has been undefeated here in the state. And right now, that's definitely in danger.
Yeah, it's in danger, and actually, you know, he's undefeated in the GMC, Terry. He is not undefeated in tournament play here, because in the Pro Tour Finals, the championship last year, they did knock Ricky out in the semis. The top score out of each card advanced, and he struggled, and that was the Tour Championship. But we've never seen anything really like this. He's usually won by a wide margin, and right now he has 5 strokes to make up as we sit here with Kale 2 back on the tee. You put something close.
Kale taking the right side right, finding the gap easily, and looks like he's driven it just about pin high. He'll have an uphill putt from there. That's a challenging drive.
We are waiting for the spotter to give a sign down there. Looks like we are unsure on that one, Terry. I believe it's in. The spotter was not definitive, and here we see Nate Doss following this up. That's going to challenge the left side. It's got to get down, Terry. It might skip off the dam and go in the water. And we're not sure again. It
did at the last moment, Nate found himself OB. And as I mentioned a moment ago, our lead card was waiting for our chase card. Now the chase card is waiting to putt as the lead card is throwing their drives here on this hole.
That is extremely high, Terry.
That is coming in. Where is that going to finish? That seems to... Oh, it does get the green flag. For a moment there, I was wondering if he was almost laying up short of the OB area.
Yeah, it is pretty well short. That's about the safest putt you can see up here. And Wysocki lets it rip. He's lower. He's driving. Can he get inside the trees on the right side? Ooh, he punches through. Very close to the line. It is in bounds.
All right, let's check in with the women earlier from hole number 5.
285-foot par 5. That's where we find ourselves with Sarah Hokom leading Valarie Jenkins by 4, Jessica Weese by 5 after she put up that bogey on hole 4. Valarie Jenkins doesn't get that far enough. You want to get over that little rise and then down and to the right. 285 feet, but you've got to get it all the way around that birch. Sarah Hokom does just that. She's left herself about 35 to 40 feet. It's a little bit short. Jessica Weese gets good distance on it. Doesn't quite fade enough left. She's got about 30 feet for the birdie, and Catrina Allen hangs on. Wow, Catrina Allen. I guess that was a nice shot. There we go. Valarie Jenkins. She's got this now for par. Valarie Jenkins will be carding the bogey on a relatively short par 3. Catrina Allen, a little short. Sarah Hokom, a little short. Jessica Weese to gain a stroke. Close it back down to 4. Well, let's leave it at 5, and we're moving on to hole 6.
And Michael Joe is just outside circle 2, and he's found himself right next to the basket. He's going to be walking away with a 3. Ricky Wysocki is going to have to deal with some footing and a little bit of a headwind as he's putting at this basket.
Yeah, very dangerous putt, Terry. I'd be surprised if he runs it, but he just did make that bomb on 3. Very similar danger behind the basket here.
Ricky doesn't lay up. And sure enough, Ricky Wysocki canning it from just about circle 2 edge. What a putt. Interestingly enough, this hole is coming in at exactly 3. That is how it's playing today. There's been 31% of the players above par, 31% of the players have been below par, 29% above par, and the rest at par. So this hole is playing exactly the par 3 that it is.
Yeah, it's a challenging hole. There's a lot of risk, but it's also pretty open, and you can bomb one right in here. Nate Doss is in the water, and I think there's going to have to be a group decision on Kale's disc, which is right on the line.
And it looks like Kale is trying to line it up from a distance. We're also seeing I'm waiting on Nate Doss trying to clarify. And it looks like Wysocki and Leiviska are having a conversation. Unfortunately, this is the one, we'll say, weak spot on the entire course where our signal is challenged. So if we go over there, we won't be able to give you a very good image anyway. But definitely we see Leiviska and Ricky both trying to eye it up as they're measuring from stake to stake. And to our left, we see Nate Doss trying to get his footing. Now, he did for sure go in the water. Is that what you said, Jeff?
Yeah, he's in the water, and he's going to be playing from a meter off the water's edge. So it is a little bit of a tricky stance that he's dealing with. And it looks like he's got his stance, and he's eyeing up his par putt here, Terry.
And it does sit down as this is perched up on the hillside. Doss is going to be walking away with a bogey 4. So talk about momentum shift. And Wysocki takes the birdie from a long range, very difficult putt. And Doss is going to be taking the bogey. That's a 2-stroke swing for those at home that like it when I do the math for them.
Yeah, we're not sure if Cale's in right now. There's some debate, and they're going to make a group decision. Looks like there's some tape, and they're not going to use the tape to string between the 2 stakes. Very interesting. A lot of drama on this 5th hole, as usual.
Either way, we're going to see Cale bring it in up to the 1 meter. Maybe we'll listen to Nate or get some other indication. And the spotter raises up the green paddle. That is a Pro Tour paddle, patent pending, that is. And Cale is determined in bounds. Let's see if he can capitalize on the very close call with a birdie. And after he hit the basket, Jeff, it kind of reminds me, when you're up on this hillside, every putt is very delicate because that could have easily caught edge and then found itself rolling towards one of the OB lines.
Yeah, you know, down in this ditch, Terry, it's inbound, so coming back, it's not as much of a danger, but the water is always there. And it's always constant on people's minds. As we see Nate tap in for his bogey, he will retain a 1-stroke lead since Cale missed his birdie putt, but, you know, he doesn't seem too happy about the occurrences on this hole, and, you know, he's going to have to turn things around if he wants to stay in the lead. But, hey, Cale Leiviska making a charge here.
1 birdie, 1 bogey, and a pair of pars. This still averages 3 on the day. We'll see you in a moment from the tee of 6. And we've seen now Ricky Wysocki was very quick to get up and throw his tee shot, putting himself inside circle's edge. Throwing next will be Cale Leiviska. And Cale with a great looking turnover shot heading toward the basket. He'll have a putt from there. Michael Joe also throwing the turnover, a little bit tighter line and still very effective. Our statisticians have said that Nate's previous hole was in fact the first bogey he has taken all weekend. And if that is in fact true, that is very impressive, as we were, I believe, 59 holes in. And Doss's forehand also inside the circle. Let's see how the women did earlier on hole 6.
We advance to hole 6, a 225-foot par 3. Sarah Hokom maintains her lead, 5 up on Jessica Weese and Valarie Jenkins. And she gets it out the gap. She sets herself up for a 30-foot putt for the birdie on this elevated basket. This is an island green. You just need to get outside of the opening. Catrina Allen does not. She rolls just out of bounds. She'll be throwing from the drop zone for par. And Valarie Jenkins shows us just how it's done. Catrina Allen from the drop zone pulls that way right. She will be carding a double bogey on one of the shortest holes on the course. Sarah Hokom's birdie putt goes up and over. Valarie's parked for birdie. Jessica, can she gain a stroke as well? She does. We are moving on to hole 7. The lead is now.
And doesn't even need to look it in. He knows he's made the putt here on hole 6 for Michael Johansen. And Nate Doss is second to take the birdie here on hole 6. Ricky from the exact same distance. And Ricky now back-to-back birdies, or correction. Yeah, correction. That is back-to-back birdies. Sometimes scorekeeping is hard, but not for these guys. 8 throws on hole 6. We'll see you after a word from our sponsors and a long walk to hole 7.
Tempercraft USA. Double wall 18/8 stainless steel construction keeps it cold while you're hot, keeps it hot while you're cold. Get your customized growlers, tumblers, and sports bottles with a lifetime warranty and 1% back to the planet. Tempercraft USA. Temper your thirst.
Yeah, 15, we're good. And moving over par, more than 1,000 feet, we got Ricky Wysocki off the tee. Really perfectly placed drive there.
Yeah, that's control distance right there, about 450, slightly downhill to up there. You made it look easy.
Kales has turned over. He's going to need a little bit more lift there that's coming up, and it looks as if it's cleared. Kale's happy about the shot. He'll take it. He knew he got away with one there.
Yeah, he wanted that much higher. We've seen him really push it down the middle further than that, but it hung on. Here's Michael Joe.
And Michael Joes has more height that is fading out to the left, but that's going to clear, and it finds himself maybe almost sort of inbounds the green paddle with a little bit of drama. And Nate Doss seems to have adjusted for all of the previous throws. He crushes this one down there. Let's see how the women did earlier on 7 over at Brewster Ridge.
We advanced to hole 7, a 365-foot par 3. This is a slight right to left. There's no OB, but you want to get through that gap and then curve.
I just almost killed Alyssa. Oh my god.
And then curve left at the end of the fairway. Well, Sarah Hokom gets through the gap, kicks left at the end. She's in the woods way left. I don't know who's in the worst position here, but Jessica Weese has a really nice shot. She bowls it to the left. A little bit of elbow nudge. Valarie Jenkins with a nice out. Does not keep going left, so she's going to have a very difficult par save. And Sarah Hokom leads herself with 50 feet to the pin.
Hey everyone, I'm Leiviska, back for the final round here at the Green Mountain Championships. We're back to the Fox Run, the big open course, a lot longer than the one we played yesterday. We got one round of tournament experience. I think I'm pretty confident what I need to do out here. Keeping in bounds, definitely. I'll be throwing my D1 a lot, keeping in bounds, something overstable that I can rip on, and get a little bit of distance with it too. And not quite as much as the Brewster wooded course, but I got my trusty M4s. Be throwing these a lot. Some of the wooded shots. I'll also be throwing my PA3 for hopefully a lot of short up shots, and putting this in the basket. Make a lot of putts today. Make a run on these boys. I got nothing to lose. Thanks, boys. Thanks for watching.
And Cale is heading toward that right side. He gets a kick, and that may be enough to have kept him in bounds. He gets a green paddle. So he's safe, really trying to hug this right side. I won't even throw out the hashtag hug life at this moment.
I think we all stand that far.
Him. And some very legitimate congestion going on here. A moment ago I saw a group teeing on hole 9, and then we're also watching a group putt out on hole 8, and as they clear out of the way, it looks like Ricky Wysocki will be getting ready to throw his second shot. And keeping it low and direct is Ricky Wysocki. That looks to be a great shot. Challenging bubble area where you want to throw to on your second shot. And Wysocki should be very pleased with that effort. And Doss with what looks to be a great second shot. That's not even going to flirt with the OB. That's going to be short. Very nicely placed shot there by Doss. And we're going to move down. We've got another abbreviated in the bag.
Hey everybody, it's Nate Doss here. We're here on the 4th round of the 2017 GMC here at Smugglers Notch Resort and Disc Golf Course. What an amazing day. The sun is shining. There's a few beauty clouds up there. We're looking forward to a great day. Just here to show you, reiterate what I'm going to be using today. This is a much more open course than the Brewster course, but I got to have my trusty buzz. There's definitely some wooded holes out there. Got to have the buzz. That's just a key to any even par 4 course, like a good upshot disc. Number 2 is going to be the Predator. Definitely one of my mainstays. This is a Nate Doss Predator. I've had this one in the bag for a lot. Been throwing it great this week, so hopefully I can keep that going. Last but not least, the Z Force. This is my Lakers Force. Go Lake Show. You know, it's been with me for a while. It's a great disc. Hopefully it just flies just like I hope it does. And you know, I'm looking forward to today. It should be a good day. We got great players in the group. Ricky undefeated here. Looking forward to it. We'll see you out there and enjoy.
Moving down this 1200 hole. This is playing the single most difficult hole to par on the day. Pretty, well, are you surprised by that?
That's over a lot of years because it's very generous. People play safe. It's not too bad to get 4 shots behind this. And Michael Joe releases a laser beam. It's going to come up short. And it's going to be around the edge of circle 2. But when people really pump it, Terry, that's when they go OB, and that's what causes the extra strokes that add to that scoring average that you spoke of.
So we finish out hole 7 with the ladies. Valarie Jenkins has about 80 feet. As long as she can get out of the woods, she should be okay. And she does that very well. Parks it for the bogey. Sarah Hokom, 4 par, 75 feet. A great run by Sarah Hokom. She left herself about 12 to 15 feet for the comeback for bogey. I would expect she won't have any problems here. And she does not. Jessica Weese, after that tremendously awful drive, has this to save the par. Count it. And we are moving on to hole 8. Jessica Weese gains another stroke, and actually Paige Pierce is now just 3 behind as well.
And welcome back to the action. We have Nate Doss throwing his forehand approach shot toward the pin. A moment ago, we saw Ricky Wysocki attempt his approach shot, which went deep of the pin. And just as Kale Leiviska has been challenging that right side of the fairway this entire hole, apparently Verizon is challenging us here on this right side of the course, this far side of the course on this long hole. Looks like Kale will be throwing next.
And Kale's the closest back. This is for his birdie. Oh, and he almost chained it out from about 250 feet, but he's going to have a comebacker for par. And it looks like Nate may gain a stroke here on Kale. They're all lined up, 33, 34, 35, and 36 under right now, Terry. It couldn't get much more exciting than that.
And Michael Joe has a look at it from about 90 feet. that goes up and over the basket, giving it a good run, the best he can do from that distance. And we're moving further and further into this corner here of the course. Is this the furthest point away from the start?
It is. It's the furthest point away. It's down in the corner here. Beautiful rock walls. We've got Ricky looking like he's out next, and he's looking for his birdie opportunity. Right now he's still 3 back. And we're actually moving to Cale. Cale's a little further than Rick. Cale's 1 behind the leader. This is an important putt for him. This will be for his par save, as he didn't advance down the fairway quite as far as he would have liked after that drive that turned over. Didn't set him up for success in a birdie look, but he was aggressive on his approach, and this is what he's left. It's in his range, but he's got a weird stance, so it's a big putt for Leiviska.
Cale not able to convert. Ricky, however, is going to move into almost an identical position, but it looks like he may have an extra foot or two closer to the basket, which is going to allow for a straddle putt. And although we don't see too many straddles from Ricky, it looks like he's more than comfortable here on hole number 7.
And here comes Nate. It looks like he's pretty close. Should be able to handle this one, Terry. And this is the regain of 2-stroke lead. And he's got it. So now Michael, Joe, and Cale are going to be tied at 34 down and 35 down there. Michael, Joe birdieing. Or that was a par, actually, huh, Terry?
I lost track like 34 strokes ago. I'm confused. We're moving on to hole 8. And welcome back as we've moved over here to hole number 8. Ricky Wysocki lining up his tee shot. We have moved down the fairway, so we anticipate our throwers landing about where we're at the moment. We saw a huge putt by Nate Doss and carting the birdie 3 here on hole number 8 2 days ago here, Jeff. That was part of the stellar round that he had put together. We'll see if he can duplicate the efforts or if there's anyone else on the card that wants it bad enough today.
Yeah, and Ricky's on a very high Turning shot, it's flexing back. It looks like it's going to get down in time, and it does for an absolute crush. He's going to have a run up at the green from there, Terry.
That is a huge crush by Ricky Wysocki, getting the green Pro Tour paddle. Second to throw is Nate Doss. I anticipate Nate's to not go quite as high, and that's come in and gets almost well, what, about 90% of the same distance?
Yeah, he's just about 20 feet behind Rick, but that's actually where Nate landed in the second round when we were out here at Fox Run, Terry. So he attacked and was able to make his 3. He'll have another run at that as we see Michael Joe, who has played this hole more conservatively, and that's actually coming up right towards the typical landing zone. He's playing it more like a par 5. He really won't be able to reach the green from there, so he's playing for his 4.
In fact, he had thrown a TI comment as opposed to throwing a driver. And this is a great shot by Cale, throwing a mid-range as well. Let's see how the women are doing over on hole number 8 at Brewster Ridge earlier this morning.
Sarah Hokom maintains a 3-stroke lead over Jessica Weese and Paige Pierce. Valarie Jenkins is 1 back. Catrina Allen has fallen off. This is a 605-foot par 4. You need to pure this gap and then hook left. Jessica Weese with a very nice drive. Sarah Hokom and Valarie Jenkins did not get as good a drives. Sarah Hokom's second shot, she's got about 150 feet to the pin. And Valarie Jenkins puts a beautiful shot out there, a nice little skip left. She's got a 15-footer for birdie. And Jessica Weese hangs that off to the right. It's a very generous kick and a fist pump. Sarah Hokom's third shot under the basket. She will be carding the par. Valarie Jenkins for birdie. Call it a par. Jessica Weese will be gaining a stroke on Sarah. The lead is now 2. Paige Pierce is down by 3. Valarie Jenkins down by 4.
And rejoining us here to throw a shot. Seems live.com. You can get all of the stats and scoring along with detailed shot-by-shot instruction for any hole that we are not covering. In fact, maybe even follow along for the lead card. I certainly miscall a few shots from time to time. Green paddle here for Michael Joe. Here's his approach. And trying to keep it between the white stakes, and successfully does just that. Kill, who has at least 60 feet on MJ's tee shot, will be throwing second. And Kill very quickly getting up and pulling the trigger on his second shot. And also receives the green inbounds paddle. As Jeff will elaborate on, both Nate and Ricky have thrown big enough drives here off the tee that it looks like they're going to be able to attack the green if they're playing that aggressive style during this round.
Yeah, I believe that they are both going to attack this green. Nate had a pretty nice play last time, as we mentioned, and he's going to really challenge that right side tree line, Terry, and try to get one to really level up, fly straight, and fade into the left side, leaving him probably between circle 1 and circle 2. That's what I'm expecting on this Predator shot. He's got a great lie. It's not too steep. Let's see if he can yank one up there. And it seems to have turned. I'm not sure if he needed more, but it is
up, and he gets the green paddle. And we're seeing that Nate currently is sitting with a 3-stroke advantage, and the rest of the card sitting at 34 under par. We're almost to the halfway point in this final round. Nate Doss has been challenged, but he's currently in the driver's seat.
Yeah, it looks like Cale actually did go OB once on that last hole and drop back a little bit further than we thought. Like you mentioned, it's a long hole, and there's a lot of throws going on that one, but it is challenging. Like you mentioned, it's playing higher than ever against par as Ricky puts a big forehand out there. Looks like it's coming up a little short. Not sure if it's going to be him or Nate closer. What do you think, Terry?
Tough to tell from where we're at, and I learned a few broadcasts ago it's always tough to guess whenever it's a blind shot. I'm going to say that just from what I could see from back here, I'm guessing that Ricky's going to be a little bit closer after that second shot of his.
Yeah, this is another grinder up the hill. Like you mentioned, there's not a lot of threes here. Looks like we have 2 players in the running for a 3. But this is a big scoring separator, just like hole 7 and just like hole 4 out here. And again, this is the middle of our Fox Run Amen corner, if you will, Terry, where this is hole 8 and hole 9 will finish this 3-hole stretch that's very challenging. As Michael Joe pitches it up just inside the circle, he'll have a putt for par from there.
And Cale comes up short, but we'll have a very makeable tap in there to save the par.
And the colors in the mountains area are really popping. This is a beautiful venue, and we haven't seen these fall colors in a while. Usually during this event they're just starting, but they've been popping all week, delighting the spectators, and it's just a very nice setting here as we're headed to the back 9 and a couple holes with the lead card. Hey, you know what? I was wrong. Looks like Nate got inside the circle, and so did Ricky. Amazing on this very long par 4 as Michael Joe taps in for par.
And he's done it again. Nate Doss taking the 3, and Wysocki, who's right next to the basket, will answer with a birdie of his own. Very impressive. Hole number 8, we're just about to the back half of the course. We'll see in a moment after a word from our sponsors on the gorgeous hole 9. And welcome back. We are here at 9, however, I'm in these the chase card as they are moving down the fairway of 9. It has been a little while since I've taken a look at the scores myself. Hopefully years back in Milwaukee, along with Johnny V, who is producing the rest of the show. Thank you guys so much. In the meantime, I'm going to take a look at our stats and scores. And as we see, Nate Doss sitting at the 38 under par, Ricky Wysocki 35 under par, Cale and Michael Joe each at 34 under par. So not much has changed when it comes to the leaderboard. Of course, they're each 3 under par except for Michael Joe, who is 2 under par. However, the margins are the same as what we started with essentially. Paul Ulibarri sitting at 4 under through 8 holes. Zach Melton also at 4 under. Having a great round here is Andrew Presnell, who is sitting at 6 under par through 10 holes. Jeremy Colling sits at 2 down. And Grady Shue sitting at 4 under. Nate Sexton falling off the pace a little bit as he sits at even through 8 holes. I mentioned the other day, this is in fact my favorite hole here on the course, at least aesthetically. There are many beautiful holes here at the Fox Run Meadows course. And I think that officially brings my stat of 1 for 1 on announcing the correct course here today. Yesterday was a little bit of a struggle. Paul Ulibarri on the putting green here on hole number 9. We invite you guys to tune in. Next month we'll be at the Disc Golf Pro Tour Championships in Jacksonville, Florida. Very excited. We're going to have 4 days of action for you in late October. We will also see if we may have the return of a Paul Macbeth, who had withdrawn from this tournament 2 days ago out on this very course. Paul had an injury to his back, and after struggling throughout the first 6 or 7 holes, ultimately removed himself from the event, walking off the course. Of course, we wish him well. Just a few moments, we're going to have our lead card back in action as we're walking around on this afternoon day. I just remember Knickers bucket that I forgot. Not sure if somebody can find a cooler to place this in. Either way, we've got Ricky Wysocki ready to go. And Wysocki is turned his driver over. That's going to come down and sit nicely. He needs to get underneath the trees. And it looks like they got forced down. The gallery still likes it, but Ricky knew he was going to be attacking the pin had that remained clean.
Yeah, he might have buzzed the basket on that one, Terry. Let's see if Nate can respond.
And Doss has a very similar line, but he wants that to get underneath the same trees that came in. A great shot by Nate Doss, who has a slightly exhales, wondering if he may have found himself on SportsCenter with that shot.
Oh, and Michael Joe with a beautiful hyzer flip, Terry. It's fading back in. It should be just fine. And it is. Let's see if Cale can match these first 3 beautiful drives that all found in bounds.
And at 435 feet, Cale goes for the mid-range. That's going to be short on the 3rd most difficult hole. It's a par. Let's check in with the women from hole 9.
We advance to hole 9, a 205-foot par 3. Par 4 would be fun, wouldn't it? Jessica Weese on the tee, straight as a string, just to the right of the thin gap. You can see it goes straight down the pipe and then has a little bit of a hook to the right. There's really no question what you need to do. You just need to go straight and then fade right, not left. Sarah Hokom. These ladies are having trouble on hole 9. Jessica Weese, second shot. She's got about 150 feet left. I wish she could have done that from the tee. She's got 15 feet for par. Sarah Hokom, way left. Finds the local route. Valarie Jenkins lays up. We are putting for pars. Sarah Hokom hits cage. Cannot convert her par. She will be carding the bogey. Jessica Weese to gain a stroke. She does that. 4-3-1-1. We are getting close.
And Kale's approach shot is a little bit wide to the right from just about circle 2 edge, looking at almost exactly 66 feet. We're going to have Ricky Wysocki throwing second.
Just short. Terry Wysocki needed that one because Nate is inside the circle. So it looks like Nate is going to have a putt to extend his lead over the field to 4. As we see Michael Joe just outside the circle, looking to keep pace with Doss by keeping his putting streak alive. He's been putting well today. Let's see if he can knock this one in from about 35 feet.
And never a doubt for Michael Joe, one of the most solid and consistent putters and quickest putters you'll find on the tour. Nate Doss just past the basket as he came in here on hole number 9. He's looking at 20 feet to the pin. And Doss continues to roll on here, giving himself a little bit of breathing room as we're about to go to the back half of the course here at Fox Run Meadows. And
yeah, Terry, and as Kale finishes up here, it's been quite a swing throughout the front 9 as we saw Nate's lead shrink to 1 and now build back up to 4.
We're moving on to hole number 10. We'll be back in a moment.
Disc Golf Center has moved to beautiful DeBerry, Florida, just down the road from the River City Nature Park Disc Golf Course. If you're in the neighborhood, come by and check out our spacious showroom and storefront. You'll have direct access to our live inventory of over 20,000 discs, so you can get exactly the weight and color you're looking for. Visit discgolfcenter.com, the world's largest disc golf store.
And Nate Doss opts for the forehand flick Jeff, during Thursday's round, we saw just 8 shots required to complete this hole for our lead card.
Yeah, it may be the same today, Terry, but that was a little short. He wanted a little more power. He's going to have a circle's edge uphill putt, as we see Michael Joe go with a backhand to try to attack this 300-foot par 3.
And that's not turned over enough. That's going to finish short and on the left side.
It's a tough putt from there.
And Wysocki talked earlier about throwing the felon on shots such as this, and he's going to like that result.
Yeah, that's about 10 feet away, and this is a hole tailor-made for Rick's forehand.
And Cale going with a turnover mid. He almost went deep. He's tracking toward the pin. And a great shot. The women have made the turn at Brewster Ridge. Let's check in with them now.
We advance to hole 10. A very long par 3 comes in at 410 feet. Jessica Weese on the tee. Still trying to chase down Sarah Hokom. That was a very fortuitous kick. Jessica could be deep in the woods if it wasn't for that tree protecting her from the depth of the woods. Holy moly, look at this shot. Valarie Jenkins is in the house. And I'm going to say Valarie Jenkins can throw it at least 400 feet on this 410-foot hole. She's got a 10-foot putt for birdie. Sarah Hokom puts it out there not quite as far. She goes about 340, and she's left with this 60-footer. Oh, good golly. A great run by Sarah Hokom. Jessica Weese pins it. Valarie Jenkins cards the birdie. Valarie moves up the rankings, tied for third with Paige Pierce.
And welcome back. We are here on the green of 10, but also watching the chase card tee on 11. And Nate Sexton with a backhand off the 10. The right attack challenge. And first to putt back on our lead card is going to be Michael Johansen. He is just outside the circle one edge, looking at 35 feet. Dead center for MJ. Can't help but chuckle with how quickly he gets up and just pures it into the heart of the chains. Nate Doss is and Doss with a light fist pump for himself. Also a wave to the gallery. He converts from just inside the circle. And I mentioned it the other day, the lead card needed just 8 throws. And today, it's going to be just the same, hole 10, proving very nice to our competitors here on this lead card. Cale will tap in. No problems. We got a little bit of a backup on 11. Stay tuned. You're watching live disc golf from the Green Mountain Championships presented by Discraft.
Not all fairways finish left, and we can't all throw with pro power. So Vibram has designed an understable distance driver that is perfect for beginners or advanced players looking for amazing anhyzer finishes. Introducing the Unlace from Vibram. Durability, grip, performance.
We've caught up with Big Germ on the chase card here. And he's trying to get down the narrow tunnel and is not completely clean. Hits one of the trees about halfway down the tunnel. We'll follow this group just for another shot or two, and then we'll be able to turn around and catch up with our lead card, who will be then teeing here. Paul Ulibarri starting to walk down the hillside. Off in the distance beyond him, I see Nate Sexton. And from what I could hear, that is a good putt by Nate Sexton. We're seeing in 5th place Paul Ulibarri currently at 31 under par, which is 5 down for the Andrew moving board. He's 7 down and sitting at 29 under. Zach Melton and Jeremy Colling both sitting at 28 under par as of right now. I believe that's going to round, or by that is. A little bit of a pinch point here as we're near the catch of this hole, but also as the group is throwing their approach shots. So it looks like Ricky Wysocki is going to be getting ready here any moment to throw his tee shot. See him eyeing it up. And Ricky is again just waiting. I believe that he could be ready to throw. However, I'm sure he's concerned that he'll be catching this chase card possibly on the next hole or one of the few remaining holes. And again, sorry, we are just waiting on Ricky. He certainly has the all clear to throw, or whoever may be on the top of the card. In fact, they are waiting for the group to clear off, and they are doing just that. So we should be ready to go. Hope you're enjoying the coverage here today. Hope that you're also enjoying the great battle taking place on the women's side. Paige Pierce has come out firing. She's had a few hiccups thus far, and she has found herself on the 2nd card, which is in fact a rarity. I can't think back to any large event where during a 2nd or final round we've seen Paige Pierce not on the lead card. And that was a tee shot by Nate Doss, very well placed. We'll see if we can get in a better position. And Michael Joe will come up short of the line. Towards the OB line, that's got to sit down. It's going to come up and land just safe of the OB line. In fact, it looked as if it curled around, possibly even touched the out of bounds. However, it rolled back at the very last moment. And Kales is easily going to sit down safely. We're going to check in with the women from earlier today over at Brewster Ridge.
We move on to hole 11. 615-foot par 4. You need to pure this drive straight through these woods as far as you can. And Valarie Jenkins does exactly that. A beautiful first shot by Valarie Jenkins. Jessica Weese. So Sarah, Jessica, Paige, and Valarie are all within 2 strokes right now. Sarah struggles off the tee. This is her 3rd shot. And that reaches the pin but goes way to the right. She's going to have about a 65-footer for par. Valarie Jenkins gets this 2nd shot well placed. And Jessica Weese's 3rd shot now. And that fades. Well, that goes well deep as well. This is Sarah Hokom. She's ahead by 1. She needs this par to maintain her lead. Counted. She's come close on so many big putts. She finally hits one. Sarah Hokom wants to keep that lead. Jessica Weese misses the par putt. We've got a little bit of a swing, and Paige Pierce is 1 back.
And Cale Leiviska is taking a look at exactly where he's going to want to throw his approach shot to. Again, this is a very tight window that you have to hit. You want to get over the rock wall and carry approximately 60 to 80 feet past it. However, you cannot go too long because you could find OB deep of the pin and to the right, something I had not thought of until someone had challenged it the other day during play. We're out here at Smugglers Notch in Vermont, just outside of Burlington. We'll also be back here for the 2018 Professional Disc Golf World Championships taking place in September. And Cale doesn't quite hit the intended gap, however, it will result in a good looking shot from there. Michael Joe is moving up. He's also going to confirm this hole plays down and to the right from where the players are standing, which is why they're trying to get a reference point, whether it be a tree or a certain clump of rocks or whatever the case might be. But they're trying to find a reference point, an area they're looking to throw to. Dead calm winds out here today. I'm quite shocked at just how mild the conditions have been throughout the last 4 days here of competition. Michael Joe throwing one of his mini bangers, and that goes just past the basket that will be left. He may have a few trees to contend with. And one of the very anxious spotters who's helping out, unfortunately, was more interested in finding about the result of the previous shot. That's what halted Doss. Doss had heard him clamoring about and somehow sneaks through all of the trees. Again, not hitting his intended route, but it has a great result, great focus by Doss. Again, he was lined up ready to throw. However, a spotter was a little anxious in making sure we knew if the previous shot was in bounds or not. Wysocki also moving up. So far we've seen 3 clean shots, which that in itself is very impressive here on the approach to this well-protected basket. Ricky Wysocki will bring himself the full 1 meter off the OB line. disc switch to his pure. And Wysocki's hoping that sits down. It does hit a tree. He is going to be short of the pin, but he is inbounds. He's looking at approximately 40 to 45 feet. He'll move closer to the... He will find himself short and right. I believe he will be... And Wysocki's straddle is short. He's going to walk away with a par 4 here. Wysocki will remain at 36 under par. Nate Doss looking to push himself to 41 under par. And next to putt will be Cale Leiviska. And a solid putt by Cale. That will push Cale to 36 under par. Michael Joe, if he can convert, will move to 37. So Doss maintain or possibly 5-stroke lead here, assuming he converts. And we're seeing Michael Joe take a little bit more time than usual. He certainly has some obstruction between him and the pin. And Michael Joe, no problems. Doss is going to let that one slip by a relatively short putt. However, he was extended out. We saw a slightly different grip as he was lining up his putt. And he's going to tap in for a fresh. We're moving on to hole 12.
Knew it. Knew it. Haha.
What's the pro tip on snack time, Sarah?
This is a really good time when you're last on the box and there's a wait. This is some yogurt that I keep in my cooler bag of my Zuka cart because they have all these sweet accessories to carry all the cool stuff you need. Lots of room for lots of fun things like a toothbrush, some super glue, some baby wipes, an extra skirt, a rubber chicken, and some lotion.
All seem like essentials to me.
They are.
What's the yogurt of choice?
Chocolate Haze Craze Flips by Yod Chobani. It's my favorite.
Snack time pro tip, Sarah Hokom. Okay, Rick, you're staying with the And welcome back as we were seeing our lead card move into position here on hole number 12. Nate Doss with a relatively short putt, not able to convert on the previous hole, was looking to get into a very comfortable 4-stroke lead. He's still sitting with this 3-stroke advantage. We have holes 12 through 18 to finish up here on the Fox Run Meadows course to complete our 2017 Green Mountain Championships presented by Discraft. Terry Miller, the disc golf guy here, along with an intermittent Jeff Spring as he's running around doing tournament director duties as well as co-commentating. And Michael Johannsen is first to tee, easily carrying the water, however, finding himself right next to the rock that is within circle's edge of the green, or correction, the basket. And almost in an exact same spot from where we saw Nate Doss land 2 days ago. Cale is short, but on the hillside. He'll have to deal with a little bit of footing. However, he will have no wind to contend with. And Nate Doss hangs it out wider and finds himself checking up nicely short of the pin. Again, he'll have an awkward stance there, but is a much shorter putt than from 2 days ago. And Ricky plays even wider than his previous 3 card mates, and however has the most power. We'll be back with you after we check in with the women from hole 12 at Brewster Ridge.
We move on to hole 12. Sarah Hokom holding on to a 1-stroke lead over Paige Pierce, 2 strokes over Jessica Weese and Valarie Jenkins. It's a 360-foot par 3. Valarie Jenkins is on the tee. She pulls that quite a bit right, but gets good distance on it. Sarah Hokom, which way should that go? That way. Sarah Hokom doing a little air traffic control after the fact. Jessica Weese tries to put a lot of power into that. She was going for the birdie off the drive. Her second shot fades in beautifully. That's 2 holes in a row. She's had great recoveries. Valarie Jenkins' second shot. What kind of a path was there through those woods? And Sarah Hokom, for birdie, didn't really give it a chance. Valarie Jenkins to save the par. No. Valarie loses a stroke. We're moving on. Paige Pierce tied it up.
And we're moving in here as our players, Ricky Wysocki out in front as he frequently is, Michael Johannsen just behind him. Cale and Nate Doss. And naturally, we're out here at one of the most beautiful views you could find anywhere at Smugglers Notch, maybe in Vermont. I think they make postcards.
Yeah, we see off those, Terry. Yeah, all you have to do is snap a picture and you got instant money because it's so beautiful out here. But this hole is a big challenge. These guys are making it look easy, throwing over the water, and all putting it within the circle, it looks like. So let's see if they can clean them up.
I believe there's a conversation that might have been taking place as to the placement in or underneath that rock. And Cale's slightly uphill putt is short, hitting off the front of the basket. And Nate Doss is motioning for Jeff Spring, our tournament director, to come over and take a look. We'll see if we can take a look at what they're...
I mean, I would allow you to put your mini right
Put the
there.
mini right there? Okay.
All right. Mini right here.
Cool.
Mini right here.
Yep, perfect. Perfect.
Right. Yeah, go ahead. Take it.
Something a little different here.
Yep.
Sometimes I've been wedged under a rock quite like that before.
Not one you couldn't move.
Yeah, that's true. I usually can get them out the way.
And it really doesn't matter where you put Michael Joe. He's going to convert on the putt.
Elevated putt, even if it's under strange circumstances. Let's see if
And Nate finds the center of the chains with ease.
That was something different.
And somehow that has come out on Ricky Wysocki. It hit dead center pole and spit back at him. Ricky maintains his composure, but I don't believe what I just saw there.
Yeah, that was an incredible occurrence. Very rare to see that on a Disc Catcher Pro. It looked perfect.
It sure did. Well, Cale has regained his stretch. He's going to tap in, and we're going to move on with a heavy heart here over to hole 13.
For looks, for life, for Lincoln.
And welcome back here as we've moved over to hole 13. I think Ricky Wysocki had off the ground. That was a very unfortunate break for him. We've seen a number of challenge is Ricky putts very hard. He frequently hits the pole of a basket, and I think we've proven that sometimes maybe it comes in a little too stiff, and sometimes there's just an element of luck. I'm not sure what you want to chalk that up to, but Ricky Wysocki is going to have a hard time making a charge when he has a momentum block such as that.
Yeah, that's right, Terry, and that's a pretty pivotal hole. We're going on to the last stretch of the course. This is the last hole over on the basin section of Fox Run, and we're going to head back over after this hole. And, you know, a putt like that really hurts his momentum. He's probably going to come firing back, but it may be too little too late as Michael Joe is within 3 and on the tee. And it's flying, it's cutting. Will it skip? Ooh, he's going to have a tough angle. He's going to be tucked in behind this row of trees that he'll have to throw around. It's going to be interesting to watch that second shot. Here's Nate. Let's see if he can push his drive a little further to the left and get a better angle than what we saw from Michael Joe right then. Here he is.
And exactly as you said, he's looking to find the fatter, wider part of the fairway on the left side. That gives him a much better position in terms of attacking this green. I think all of our competitors would be very happy with putting themselves where Nate had just placed his drive.
That's right, Terry, and it looks like Cale's over on the right side, closer to Michael Joe. The positive of that, though, is that it's going to be fun to watch from the fans' perspective. Here's Rick.
And Ricky splits the difference. We're going to come back with you after a moment. A word from our sponsors as well as the women on 13.
We go to hole 13, a 555-foot par 4. You need to get your disc straight down this fairway and have it curved to the right after that big tree on the corner. Sarah Hokom, that's exactly what you want to do. A very beautiful drive by Sarah Hokom. Jessica Weese follows suit. If that fades off, it does. She is in good position as well. Let's watch Valarie Jenkins. Jessica and Valarie are still chasing Sarah, and Valarie turns way early, and she's in trouble on the right-hand side. We'll pick up after her next shot. This is Sarah's second shot into the mouth. She's got about 80 feet, and this is Valarie Jenkins' third shot after her pitch out, and she pulls that to the right. Valarie Jenkins is guarding the bogey on hole 13, probably losing 1, maybe 2 strokes. Jessica goes way left, and this is Sarah's, after her short upshot, this is Sarah for par. So Sarah and Jessica card the par, as does Paige Pierce. We are moving on to hole 14.
And Cale plays that with a wide and high out nicely.
Wow, he buzzed. It looked like he buzzed the basket from here. Looks like it ended up a little short, but he's inside the circle. What a shot from Cale Leiviska.
And Dawes has to manage his footing. That's carrying to the right. Not much of a hyzer skip, but he'll have a long putt from there.
Yeah, it may be a little closer than it looks. It looks like if he's pin high, then he's about 20 feet. And Ricky 5 off the pace.
That's got to hook up. That's got to come all the way back.
and it does, and it skips up, and he is in bounds. So he's hanging in there, and he'll have a putt for birdie. Michael Joe has thrown the furthest off the tee, Terry. He's tucked in here, and we're going to make some magic happen. This is going to be a fun shot to watch as he lines up a big Annie around Maple on the corner.
And we're also seeing that this is the 4th most difficult hole according to par. He's also put in, he finds himself inbounds. We'll be back after a word from our sponsors here on hole 13. Hey everyone, Terry Miller, the disc golf guy here, and I've caught up with DG Mike Fierke out of Illinois, and you're on the bag again today for Cale Leiviska.
That's correct.
Give everyone at home some insight. What makes for a top-tier caddy out here at the Green Mountain Championships?
So at the Green Mountain Championships, to be a top-tier caddy, you're going to want to carry tons of snacks. That's the main thing for me. It's going to get very hot out there. It's about a maple cookie. This could be for Cale or for myself. It doesn't matter.
Or an announcer?
Or a TV personality that I love. Yeah, also make sure you get a lot of water for everybody. It's super hot out there, so as many times as you can stop and fill up water jugs, definitely do that. Other than that, just stay positive. Keep everybody flowing, keep everybody in a good mood.
Are you ever asked about shot selection or maybe any kind of strategy out there, or you just stand there and look pretty?
Generally, I just stand there and try not to make too much noise, stay out of the way, and keep everybody smooth, keep everybody throwing smooth.
So what allows you the time to be out here caddying?
Well, unfortunately, I didn't play very well this weekend. Shot around par golf the whole time, and I think the cut was -7. So, you know, I played okay, but really I'm just glad I can help everybody out. And I would have liked to carry the bag for Dana, but I think, you know, take a little more load off of Cale, and hopefully he can jump up and win this thing.
All right, well, this is DG Mike out of Illinois. He's helped us out on Smashbox before. Today he's going to be helping out Cale Leiviska on the bag. Let's get back to the action.
Awesome.
And Doss's attempt from 45 feet at birdie is wide right, not grabbing any metal. Ricky bounces back after the spit putt on hole 12, bounces back with a solid putt here on 13. And Cale somehow comes out on the right side. Seems as if it had flopped out and over on him. He's going to walk away with the par. Certainly frustrated both Michael Joe and Nate Doss, also looking at pars. We'll see the only birdie on the card for coming by Wysocki. Very long. We'll be back after a word here at the Pro Tour.
Hey everyone, it's AJ Risley. I've been on the road for about 5 or 6 weeks now. I'm going to be on the road for another 5 or 6 months for the rest of the year, and I've got another pro tip for you. When you're playing as much golf as I do and as the rest of the touring pros do, you are on your feet for pretty much 5 or 6 days out of the week, so that means that your feet are going to be pretty tired. So what I like to do is I always have a nice pair of flip-flops in the trunk and usually an extra pair of socks to change into right when I get off the course, because I know my dogs are definitely barking. So I want to get into some nice comfy flip-flops, get my feet out of that foot jail, and relax. There you go.
And the circle. Women did earlier.
We advanced to hole 14, a 260-foot par 4. You just need to thread the gap, get inside circle 1, and hit your putt. Sarah Hokom gets a nice little kick from that tree. She's got about 20 feet for the birdie. Jessica Weese, who's fallen off a little bit, but is still within range with 5 holes to go, gives herself a good look at birdie. And Valarie Jenkins, that is a park job. A nice shot by Valarie Jenkins. Here's Jessica Weese for birdie. Presuming Sarah hits this putt, and she does, Jessica Weese is losing another stroke here on hole 14. Valarie Jenkins stays apace. Sarah Hokom and Paige Pierce are tied for the lead. Jessica Weese is 3 back.
And Doss gave it a very aggressive run. He is going to be deep of the pin. And Wysocki with a rare miss from 25 feet.
Kale? Brown? You see it? Yeah, okay, right there.
And Michael Johannsen will pick up the birdie. He'll get to within 2 of Doss. That will push him to 9 under par. And Doss with his comebacker for par again. That's going to keep him one. Cale takes a deep sigh before he puts in for his birdie, pushing him to 37. A 2-stroke advantage by Nate Doss. We'll be back with you in a moment from hole 15. 5. Okay. And welcome back. We are here on hole number 15. And Wysocki handing off the cards to Kale Leiviska for scorekeeping duties. And Michael Johannsen with the honors here, pushing up on hole 15, but not getting all the way through. And joining me now is Dana Vici. Dana, we've got just 4 holes to play. This is a battle.
Oh, most definitely. We got a front row seat here. Hope you're all enjoying it.
And Kale also goes up that right side, but he's going to need a little bit of hyzer finish, making sure everyone clears out of the way, and they've done just that. He'll have an uphill putt, and he gets the green flag. And Ricky takes a deep breath before releasing.
And that's coming in a little early. Gets a nice skip, some good action off the tree. He's going to be inside the circle with the chance to redeem himself from that last putt.
And Nate Doss made it all the way through and parked this just 2 days ago. He'd love to do the same. And it buzzes past the basket. We're going to be back with you after watching the women on 15 at Brewster Ridge.
We advanced to hole 15, a 360-foot par 3. Sarah Hokom and Paige Pierce are tied for the lead. The left side of this is lined with OB. Sarah goes and flirts with the left side, comes up just short at the base of the stone wall. She's going to have a very difficult look from over there. Valarie Jenkins plays very safe and to the right. She would have loved to have gone just a smidge past that tree. And Jessica Weese lays it out there. She is going to be happy with that drive. It trickles down the hill a little bit. Valarie Jenkins' second shot pins it. And Sarah Hokom has a very awkward lie. She puts up a roller, it catches an edge and goes right back to the wall. Sarah Hokom walling this hole and kicking right off a tree. She has a very difficult bogey putt. Sarah and Valarie parked for the par, and here's a double bogey from Sarah Hokom. Paige Pierce bogeys. Things are tightening up again.
Dana, just before Michael Joe throws this Anheuser tunnel putt, Kale looks at us and
he says that's going in, and it sure enough did. That was an incredibly tough putt, and MJ just dead center made it look really easy. Kale looks like he's got a pretty clean look from just inside of the circle. He's lining up the OB line, probably going to take a meter here. This is a big putt for Kale if he wants to hold on to any chances of winning or just holding on to maybe a third place finish here.
I have to go back to that putt. I think most players could line that up. You give them 10 chances, and I think you'd only see about 1 or maybe 2 of them made uphill from 45 feet through a tunnel. Anheuser. Kale answers with a solid putt himself, and momentarily we see Michael Johannsen closing the gap from the 3-stroke opening down to a single stroke. However, Doss looks to be parked here. He may regain that stroke advantage to take it back to 2.
He does, and Ricky is a lot closer than I thought he was off the tee. He's got a little bit of a straddle here, but shouldn't be a problem for the world champ.
And what a hole here on 15. We'll be back in a moment from the tee of 16. And welcome back. We've caught up with the chase card, and Dana, who just watched Nate Sexton throw a nearly perfect approach shot with the forehand.
Yep, that was a great shot from Nate. He's threw a pretty conservative drive off the tee, put himself in a good spot. As we mentioned the other day, the key here is just getting the disc inbounds, and it's all about seeing how much you want to chew off from the tee pad. The more you want to chew off, the more you're going to flirt with that out of bounds, and if you make a little bit mistake for these right-hand throwers and turn it over, you're going to find yourself re-throwing from very close to the tee pad and possibly looking at a big number. So we're going to probably see some relatively conservative shots because these guys are all jockeying for position and the win, because to birdie the hole, you don't have to get that far up there. It's just all about that, making that second shot easier.
Currently we have Nate Doss with a 2-stroke advantage with 3 holes to play, and at no point can you really let down your guard. As you just said, this hole is very birdieable. You could move on to 17, and we've seen some heroics there. Everything from ace splashouts by Dana yourself, and you could also find yourself OB. So 17 is a very dynamic hole, and 18 has OB on both left, right, and deep of the pin. So this is far from over. If I look to my left, I can see Zach Melton lining up his birdie putt. We're also seeing the lead card stand down and wait for their tee shots here on hole number 16. Dana, I know you're sitting on pins and needles. Did you make it into the finals in Jacksonville?
It's going to be close. I came into the event tied for 49th place with John Perry. John Perry got me by a stick this weekend, so I'm either going to be one of the last in or one of the first out. It all depends on how these points break out, to see if anyone, maybe a Grady Shue, who's had a great couple weekends here at the Vibram Open and then following it up with good play here. he may have jumped me. I'm not quite sure. And maybe I'm in and I'm sweating over nothing, but we'll find out soon. I imagine with those UDisc guys are on top of the stats, that's for sure.
Maybe we could get a little inside scoop from Matt and Josh over there at UDisc and let us know. Maybe we could rest easy tonight. A moment ago, we watched Paul Ulibarri miss a relatively short putt. He's going to be tapping in. He was sitting in that 5th position throughout most of the day. They're going to move on to 17, and our lead card is now ready. They're waiting for all distractions to clear. And after watching a star frame on 17, you know it's just a matter of who wants it most at this point.
Yeah, most definitely. This hole is all about just not making a mistake, because it's a pretty easy birdie. The next hole is where we can probably see some swings, and for Nate having that 2-stroke lead, I think he's going to want to maintain that going into 18 to take the pressure off that tee shot, and he would just have to chip shot it up to the basket for a par if he does have a 2-throw lead. But here's MJ with a great drive coming into the fat part of the landing zone, and it's probably going to be a banger from there to the bucket.
And not quite the aerobatics we saw yesterday from our cameraman, but coming right up to us here in the large part of the green, as you said. Kale's going to come up just short of that by about 20 feet, 25 feet maybe. Ricky Wysocki, 3rd to tee. I think it's interesting enough to say that Ricky is really not in contention at the moment.
Looks like Ricky is lining up the aggressive play. He's going to try to turn his disc over and really bite off a lot here.
He's doing just that. He's carrying more than any other shot we've seen. He's going to find himself on the left side. As you said, though, unless you're going big and really attacking the green, that's just going to give him a shorter approach shot, really.
I don't know, after that putt he made on 17 yesterday, and all the putts we've seen him make over the years, I wouldn't be surprised to see something like that drop. And here's Nate going with a conservative drive. He's going to be up just past MJ here, so we're going to have Kale out first.
Let's check in with the women from hole 16 on Brewster Ridge.
We move on to hole 16, a 400-foot par 3. Paige Pierce is now in the lead, all alone. Sarah Hokom 1 back, Jessica Weese 2 back, Valarie Jenkins 3 back, and Paige Pierce puts this perfectly on this downhill 400-foot par 3, 15 feet from the pin. Birdie! Count it. Paige Pierce is now ahead by 2 over Sarah, 3 over Jessica, 4 over Val. We need to card some birdies with just 4 holes to play, 3 holes to play. Valarie does not pull that over enough. She is going to be carding the par from those thick woods. Jessica, gets a great kick. Gets a great kick followed by a bad kick, which equals a par. Sarah Hokom, a beautiful shot, follows Paige's path, and Sarah Hokom for birdie. Count it. We're moving on to hole 17. Paige Pierce 1 stroke ahead of Sarah.
And welcome back here on the fairway of 16. Our lead card is now waiting as our chase card is throwing their tee shots of 17. These 2 holes parallel one another. So again, trying to free themselves of any potential distractions as the gallery is sandwiched between the 2 fairways. Looks to be some pretty exciting action taking place on that second card, Dana, and everyone is vying for a spot in the championships, which will be taking place in mid to late October down in Jacksonville. What are we seeing for 5th through 8th place here at the tournament today?
Right now we've got a tie for 5th place between Paul Ulibarri and Andrew Presnell. Andrew came in with a really impressive 9 down today, 49. Actually, he's through 17 holes, so he's moved up 6 strokes on the day. In 7th place is Zach Melton, and Jeremy Colling currently in 8th, 1 stroke behind Zach Melton. Jeremy is tied with Philo.
And looking at our top 10 players or so, the person seemed to be struggling the most here is Nate Sexton. He's just at 1 under on the round. And so Nate has dipped slightly here during today's final round. Nate looking like he's had a number of bogeys out there as he sits 1 under with just 2.5 holes to play.
So it looks like Cale has played it short enough where he's going to have a hyzer up to the basket. What he's going to be doing is going around that telephone pole with a high hyzer, letting it check in. Pretty standard shot. Looks good. Checks up, curls up, about 8 feet from the basket. Great shot from Cale.
Second to approach will be Michael Johansen. And Michael Joe, with no hesitation, throwing his banger up right next to the pin. And Dawes has left it a little bit wide right. That should be a very makeable putt from there. We're moving down the fairway to look for Wysocki, who's off to the left, looking about 100 feet from the pin. I'll give him more than 100, in fact. And just a few inches short. Dana, you were right. We can never count Ricky out from long distance, even if it is over 100 feet. This is going to be a very crucial putt for Nate Dawes. He's left himself with a little bit of a tester, and he can maintain what seems to be a 2-stroke lead. But first, looks like we may have Michael Joe. I thought Michael Joe was a little closer. He is inside the circle. This would push him to 41 under par. And he doesn't even bother looking it in. He knows once he's released, he's converted. Dawes is at most 2 feet closer than what MJ just was. And Dawes has let that slip high. He's going to walk away with a par here, which is 2 holes to play. Michael Johansen continues to chase him down. He now has just a 1-stroke deficit to make up on Dawes. That is a frustrating and surprising putt by Dawes. We're moving on to 17. Stay tuned right here on the Disc Golf Pro Tour.
Disc golf is in the air. Join the excitement at pdga.com.
G'day, my name's Chris. I'm here today to tell you a little bit about our disc stacks. They're disc pants manufactured specifically for disc golf. They basically have 4-way stretch, water repellent material. They have a towel attachment pocket in the front side of each pair of pants. They have zip back pockets. They have enough belt loops to tie you up, and you got reflectors, so for those of you riding to the course on your bike, you'll be safe in the dude pants. We're predicting these pants are going to become legendary. Get yourself some.
With a gallery lining the right side of this fairway, Michael Joe has the honors on 17. He finds himself to about 20, maybe 25 feet. Cale gives it a little bit more height. Looks to be inside the circle, just a bit short for Leviska. And Ricky's going even higher. That looks to be pushing left. We'll see if it comes down. And what a shot by Wysocki, inside 10 feet. And Doss hoping to duplicate the effort of Wysocki a moment ago with his Predator. And inside the circle, let's see how the women are battling on 17.
We head into hole 17, a 530-foot par 4. Paige Pierce leading Sarah Hokom by 1. Here's Paige Pierce on the chase card. That tails off left before the elbow in this right to left par 4. She throws her second shot around the elbow. Her third shot goes wide right and listens to her. 20 feet for par.
There you go.
So Paige Pierce cards the par, and Sarah Hokom throws a horrible drive short and right. Her upshot is also short. She's left with it. She needs to go up and down to stay within 1 stroke of Paige Pierce. She leaves that one short. She has this small gap to hit this very difficult straddle putt. This to maintain being 1 stroke behind Paige Pierce. It is in, and we have a 1-stroke lead going into the final hole on the...
And Leiviska's birdie attempt is just short of the pin. We've got MJ and Doss with nearly identical putts right here. It's a Doss. And Doss converts. Ricky's going to drop in for 2 as well. And we're going to be moving to hole 18 with Nate Doss with a very, very narrow 1-throw lead over Michael. For the lone par found here on hole 18. What a show it's been. And we're not in the clear just yet. Stay tuned. We're coming up to the final hole at the Green Mountain Championships on the Disc Golf Pro Tour.
Wow, that needs to stop turning. Or just keep doing exactly what it's doing because it's going really far. Oh, and he's on the edge. That is gigantic.
Yeah, fantastic shot. And he wasn't even happy with that. But
No.
it was fantastic. He's
Sure.
way up there.
If you're off to the left, it's going to cut down the angle quite a bit and make it pretty difficult to find a way through.
Beautiful from Simon.
I think Simon's thinking go for the green here.
You know it. And I mean, this was as good as I've ever seen it thrown.
Yeah,
this
and this is
cruising.
cresting the hill. Oh, yeah. And he's going to have a jump putt approach from down there. And as I expected, Simon is jump putting. Not even jumping, just spin putting.
Oh, man, just a little short. He was disappointed with that.
But the play to get at least your safe 3 is to stay right. Anything that kicks right or just continually goes right. Oh, look at this.
Yes,
oh, wow.
Simon. He was shaking his head.
Par 4, it's coming in at 3.71. And not many holes, like we said earlier, are coming in at under par. So
Yeah.
those ones that do, you
gotta
got to take advantage here. And nice drive.
Especially, yeah, with nothing in my way. And Simon just jump putting down. Not even jumping, just spinning one.
Yep. One of the most iconic finishing holes in the sport. Such a fun place to finish. And if you have this shot right here to be able to go big.
This was the farthest throw I've ever seen on this hole, I feel like.
Maybe top 5 furthest ever thrown. I mean, he's pushing the OB wall.
This is what Simon lives for. Big crowd, big putt for the eagle. And he is just an inch off.
Welcome back as we were watching Paul Ulibarri throw his second shot here on hole number 18, playing Heiser to finish out, par 4. I believe next to throw will be Nate Sexton.
So I'm looking at the scores here, and it looks like Ulibarri has 1 stroke over Zach Melton and Andrew Presnell. So Zach could birdie this to force Paul to make his putt. Paul looked like to be right on top of Swan, so very makeable putt, but Melton messes up, is out. Takes the pressure Paul just a little bit. Nice shot from Sexton there with the left to right forehand. Germ about to throw the exact same shot, probably the exact same disc. Looks like he's got a Sexton Firebird.
That's cute. I know they like their commentary together, but this is a little too much.
Yeah, a little too much big sexy for me.
And Dana, I got to ask, who threw it better?
Definitely Nate Sexton, as Germ just squeaked on top of circle 1, maybe just inside or outside. This is a big shot for Melton. He puts it up there for the birdie. He's going to move up and possibly tie Paul Ulibarri or pass him. So big shot coming up, but he's in a great spot. Looks like he's got a slammer, which is overstable mid-range disc from discs.
Dana, at the top of the show, we talked a little bit about how our second card really didn't have much of a chance. They were at such is going to end their chase here on 18 and not catch up to anyone on the leader card.
Yeah, most definitely. And this is really exciting. Doss has the 1-throw lead. Jay, he shot. John. Make the adjustment today. He's on the tee box, looking to put it inbounds and put the pressure on to Doss.
His tee shot's out of bounds. It's going to come in, and it stops just short of the OB as a line of spectators are standing right on this line, including us, Dana. That has come up about 5 feet short of the OB line on the left side.
And Ulibarri cans his putt for the birdie as we were talking about that shot. So MJ's choice and out of wide away is in the back though. Great drive from Rick.
It is. It's going to come in and check up nicely, putting itself in prime position here. It's a divining shot.
It is looking good at the moment. Just needs to find the earth as it's heading towards the out of bounds. Great tee shot from Nate Doss.
He is at least 100, if not 120 feet. My hand is likely going to have over. With a mid-range or possibly a flick up there with a driver. Cale is hugging a little bit closer to center line of fairway, and he'll have a turnover approach from there. The women are battling it out. They're finishing up on 18 at Brewster Ridge. Let's check in with them now.
So it comes down to hole 18, 345-foot par 3. Guardian Bush off to the front right of the pin. Paige Pierce leading Sarah Hokom by 1. Paige puts it safely short. She's clearly going for the par. She just wants to get this one close. And she does just that. The pressure is now on Sarah Hokom, who is on the lead card. She's beating the lead card by 2 or 3. She's got 345 feet, and she needs to get it in 2 throws. And that goes off to the left. It fights through. She's got about 75 feet for the birdie. This is to tie Paige Pierce. Sarah opts to lay it up. I wonder if Sarah knew that Paige Pierce is now the GMC champion. Congratulations, Paige.
Welcome back. Michael Joe is more than likely going to need to put this next to the basket, or at least put himself in position for a birdie if he wants to possibly catch Doss.
Yeah, it looks like he's, I'm not quite sure what he's lining up, but I'm sure he's wishing this was a tunnel shot versus a wide open. Let's see what he's got.
And he goes out and over the OB. That is fading nicely. That's tracking right to the basket, Dana. To be chat, he had a perfect line on that shot.
That was literally a near eagle from MJ. He is going to have a comeback putt from down there, but the way he's been putting this weekend should not be an issue. This puts the pressure on Nate. He's going to have to get up there and put himself in position for a birdie versus maybe.
And right now, Nate Doss is going to have to erase any memory he has of 2 days ago out here, where he was lining himself up for a birdie putt on the 18th hole. He's hoping it does not come back to haunt him here 36 holes later.
Up next is Cale. Looks like he's opting for a putter, PA3 in his hand. He may be splitting the trees here and going straight at the basket.
And Cale's done just that, tracking nicely, putting right next to the basket. Cale Leiviska is going to push himself to 40 under par. The question is, will he be tying with Wysocki, or will Wysocki? And Nate is putting everything into this shot to make sure that he gets up near the pin, and the gallery loves it. And at this point, Wysocki's just hoping for a throw in here. And he comes up short of the pin. However, right here, final in the full. He will not be repeating yet again as champion. And when it comes down to it here, Dana, ultimately the title of the Green Mountain Championships is going to be taken home indefinitely by a Discraft player.
Yeah, that's got to be exciting for Team Discraft. Forehand shot. Looks like he's 5 feet away from the basket. MJ down near the wall, looking to get the crowd going here. He's out.
Ladies and gentlemen, your 2017 Green Mountain Championship presented by Discraft champion, Nate Dawes.
Thank you, thank you.
Let's go.
Thank you, thank you.
Sparkle on top. H. Pierce is being announced as the champion on the women's side, putting up a phenomenal battle. She went off the second card today. Great performances today. You had to hold on. You had challengers coming at you hard, including your teammate Michael Joe. This is your biggest win since 2012. Did you know that?
Oh, of course. Yeah, of course. How could I not? It's been a hell of a road since the Worlds in 2011. You know, that 2011 season was one of my best, and you know, things happened, and you know, I lost a little confidence, but I kept with it. You know, it means a hell of a lot. I'm coming towards the end of my road. I got some other things coming for me, but you know, honestly, it's just a great feeling to be back in the winner's circle, and I've been so proud of all the winners that have been that have come along between then and now. It's good to be back in the ranks with some of the best in the world, and you know, this is just a great moment, T-Dog. I don't know what to say, really.
Well, I know in talking to you, when we talk about where you play and how often you play, you say you only go to the biggest events. You want to challenge the best players. You pick up a B-tier win, you play some other smaller events, but you want to challenge the best, and today you're on top of that.
Yeah, I mean, that's my goal. That's been my goal from when I was a little kid, when I told my dad I wanted to play pro, and he said, why? I said, because I want to beat the best players. And that's still my mentality to this day. And, you know, it means a whole lot, actually, to play in a round with Ricky, a guy that's been undefeated here. And really, Michael Johansen showed what that guy is really, he's an unbelievable player. In many regards, he putted excellent. I actually asked him yesterday, I said, how old are you? He goes, I'm 38. He goes, yeah, the Masters aren't going to like me. Yeah, in 2 years, that's going to be one heck of a division. But for now, I'm going to enjoy this tee, and you know, I just want to thank all my supporters and Valarie. You know, she's been there with me, you know, through all her wins, and she's always so supportive. And Jeff Spring, the whole Smugs crew, unbelievable tournament. Standing on that 18th tee, looking out over those mountains, it's something that just takes your breath away, and I'm proud to stand here in front of you right now.
Well, this event has been presented by Discraft for many years now. I know you helped bring this event to Discraft. Discraft has supported you from day one. What does it mean to win here at this event?
Well, it's certainly huge. I think, you know, I'm really happy that the guys came on board at this tournament, gave Jeff Spring a shot. You know, and I told Jeff from the very beginning, I said, you got to do what's best for your tournament. And if it doesn't work with Discraft, that's okay. Those guys did what they needed to do to get the sponsorship, and you know, the guys from Discraft are here. You know, I haven't won very many big Discraft events. I mean, they have you know, the Memorial out, and I've never won that tournament. Come close, certainly, but a snowman got my way. But it means a lot, and I'm so looking forward to Worlds next year. I hope that I can come in to that tournament in tip-top shape, but you know, who knows where life's going to take me in the next 12 months.
All right. Well, I know you have some great adventures with you and your wife planned. I've got to thank everyone for tagging along with us this week and for the entire season here on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. Of course, we're going to have the championships in Jacksonville in just about a month, but I've got to thank Chad and Rick, Gary to the O, Johnny V back at home, Dana Vici, along with Jeff Spring for helping me out. Congratulations yet again to Paige Pierce and to our men's champion, Nate Doss. We're going to see you guys next time when you step inside the Smashbox.
Let's do it.
Yep.